Happening now, New York State's Assembly Judiciary Committee has met to discuss Governor Cuomo and possible impeachment. What we know next. Plus, Chautauqua County has hit the 50% vaccination mark. What it may mean for the future.
Well, hot is the name of the game as we go through the week, and we'll have some showers and storm chances. We'll time it all out next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
The Judiciary Committee of New York State's Assembly convened today to discuss the ongoing impeachment investigation of Governor Andrew Cuomo. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. As we continue our team coverage, I'm Justin Gould. Assemblymember Charles Levine commended the work of Attorney General Letitia James in her 168-page report released last week, as well as her agreement to grant the committee relevant material to their investigation. The committee will review the report alongside their own independent investigators. They emphasize that the report by the AG and any concerns of its legitimacy should be directed to James's office and not the committee. Levine also stated that the statements Cuomo's lawyers have made will be taken into account while investigating, as well as any other remarks the governor would like to make.
The governor will have the opportunity to address issues of sexual harassment, as well as issues relating to use of public resources to write his book, allegations relating to the nursing home deaths and the various statements and reports relating to that issue, allegations relating to preferential access to COVID-19 testing, and any other issues the governor wishes to address.
The investigation will remain confidential until as early as later this month, when the evidence will be discussed openly. Levine also explained that the confidentiality of the evidence during the investigation process protects the alleged victims from retaliation. The Judiciary Committee has instructed the executive chamber that there will be no retaliation against any witnesses or potential witnesses relevant to their investigation. The committee's independent outside counsel will update members of the group on the results and current status of the investigation moving forward, and then they will discuss the process to move forward. The committee ensured that the governor will get his wish to be treated like anyone else in the country, as no one is above the law. Well, the woman who filed a criminal complaint against embattled New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is speaking out publicly for the first time. Until now, she has only been known as Executive Assistant Number 1. Our Julia Gress joining us live now with more on her story, which Julia is adding to the growing outcry calling for the governor's impeachment or resignation.
That's right, Justin. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo is facing what will likely be another trying week. This morning, legislators on the state's Judiciary Committee returned to Albany, where they met with independent investigators to review evidence related to the government's impeachment probe. An opportunity, Governor Cuomo's personal lawyer insists, was not provided by the New York State AG before the release of a scathing report in which several women accused the governor of unwelcome and non-consensual touching, as well as comments of a sexual nature.
Adding to the governor's troubles, the possibility of criminal charges. The Albany County Sheriff's Department confirmed it's investigating a complaint of behavior from Governor Cuomo that was sexual in nature.
I had a female victim come forward, which had to be the hardest thing she's ever done in her life, and make an allegation of criminal conduct against the governor.
Known in the report only as Executive Assistant Number 1, that female victim is speaking publicly for the first time. Together with Albany's Times Union, CBS News spoke with Brittany Camiso, one of the governor's current staffers, who is coming forward to defend her account without blurring to protect her image.
The governor needs to be held accountable.
And just so I'm clear again, being held accountable to you means seeing the governor charged with a crime.
What he did to me was a crime. He broke the law.
Rita Glavin, Governor Cuomo's attorney, insists Camiso's claims are untrue. In her Saturday interview with CNN, Glavin did admit the governor may have touched another accuser, a state trooper on the governor's protective detail. The AG reports alleges he ran his fingers down her back while standing behind her in an elevator.
One thing I will say about this particular trooper is that I do know that the governor has tremendous respect for her, believes she's been an excellent member of her detail, and to the extent that she believes and felt he did anything that violated her or was inappropriate, he feels very, very badly about that. That I do know, and I know he's going to address this.
Exactly when that will be remains unclear. The governor has, however, apologized to a handful of women who he recognized were made to feel uncomfortable because of behavior he insists was well-intentioned.
He does slip at times. He's not perfect. But yeah, I get it.
When you say he does slip, what do you mean by that?
Oh, he said it in his video. He said it in his video statements, which is that, you know, he does make the mistake. He will say darling. He will say sweetheart. He does ask people questions about their personal lives. He didn't think that that was improper.
The New York State Assembly has given the governor until Friday to respond to the Attorney General's report. It is likely that any formal articles of impeachment would have to come after that date. Justin?
Julia, thank you. It's also important to note here, a majority of New York State's Assembly members, a total of 80 Democrats and Republicans, have said they would vote to impeach at this point. Only 76 votes are needed for impeachment to move forward in the Assembly. Well, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's top aide now has resigned. Melissa DeRosa's resignation came late yesterday, just a day before the State Assembly Judiciary Committee met on impeaching the governor. Attorney General's report as well. DeRosa served as secretary, which is the highest-ranking appointed position in New York. The AG's report named her several times while detailing a toxic workplace environment where inappropriate behavior was overlooked. DeRosas also came under fire back in February for the state underreporting the number of COVID-19 deaths in nursing homes. A transcript with a private conversation with lawmakers revealed she said the administration withheld information because it was concerned about an inquiry from then President Donald Trump's Department of Justice. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we continue to provide special team coverage of what's probably one of the biggest stories over the next few weeks, if not months here, as we await to see what will happen with New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's saga as he faces probes on a number of fronts into his alleged behavior. And we thank you for turning to us for that trusted information. Well, let's check in with the comments, and we'll say hello to Linda. Good afternoon to Patty, Lisa, and John watching us on the Facebook live stream. We thank you so much for tuning in. Let's switch gears a little bit and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that, and I know the story is the heat, Dakota.
Yes, it is. The story through the week is going to be the heat and the humidity. We told you about it last week, how it was going to be surging on in. This is going to be a good place to be. Presque Isle Beach, the lakeshore, is going to be the best place to be over the next several days. 83 with that dew point of 70. So that's helping to create the stickiness in the air. When you have that dew point above 60, that's when you start to feel the stickiness. When it's over 70, it's the air you can wear. I mean, and we're going to have that through the week. Satellite and radar composite across the area shows you nothing through the area, but there is a heat advisory to our north, which does include the Buffalo and Rochester metro areas, does not include the southern tier, but this is where the highest heat indices are going to be felt, from Buffalo to the north, where heat indices could likely reach 95, 96, 97 degrees, maybe even 100 degrees in some areas. Those are the feels-like temperatures, so it's going to be a hot week throughout much of the area. 81 was the high yesterday, started the day at 65, 91 record high back in 2001, 36 in 1990. And here's a live look from the HD News Now cam. Just shows you a few of those clouds downtown right now. We're right now perked at to 82 degrees, a variable wind of 7. But to look at the feels like temperature, 83 degrees. The dew point's at 69. So that's what it's going to feel like through the afternoon today. This hot, humid, sticky weather. And there it is for you. Nice sunshine, a few high clouds, hot and humid. 82, that's right at the immediate waterfront, right at the water, to 89 inland. Some spots may actually top 90 well inland away from that south wind, with that south wind 4 to 11 miles per hour. The heat's not going anywhere, but we do have a few showers and storms coming our way. We'll talk about them with that 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin?
Oh yeah, those air conditioners full blast today, Dakota. We'll see you back in 10 minutes. More than half of all Chautauqua County residents have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. That's according to New York State's COVID vaccine tracker, which shows that more than 64,000 residents, or 50.4% of the population, are vaccinated. That number includes 614 people who received at least one dose during the last week. The tracker also indicates that just over 60% of adults in the county have received at least one dose of the shot. Meanwhile, more than 59,000 county residents have completed their vaccine series. That includes 393 people during the past week. There are currently 40 active cases in the county, with 6 new cases this week. The latest figures from the CDC show that over 64% of the state's population have been vaccinated with at least one dose. Well, American tourists can now visit Canada for the first time since the pandemic. Canada opened its border to fully vaccinated U.S. citizens today. The movement is bringing relief and joy to families the pandemic has kept apart. Though there are some questions about how smoothly the welcome will go, including the use of the Arrive Can app, which shows proof of vaccinations and a negative COVID-19 test. Something on the mind of Niagara Falls Mayor Robert Renzino.
Right now it's around 32, 33 seconds to cross. It's going to be upwards of 5 minutes and random testing on top of that. So a lot of uncertainty.
The U.S. federal government has not announced any plans to reopen its border to Canadians, nor has the Biden administration slated how long the border will remain closed. Coming up, a lot more to tell you about. The latest on a Silver Creek man who's been charged with rape. And later, the Westfield Antique Show is back this year, an inside peek into what that event will look like. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph, just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A Silver Creek man has been charged in connection with a northern Chautauqua County rape. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office says the agency's Criminal Investigation Division had been investigating a series of incidences that occurred between May and July. Following that investigation, 32-year-old Cornelius Brown was charged with third-degree rape. On Friday, deputies say Brown turned himself in on the charge and was later arraigned in Central Arraignment Court. Brown was remanded to Chautauqua County's jail on $1,000 bail. No further details of the alleged incidents have been released. Well, a local public works garage was destroyed by fire yesterday. The village of Celoron Fire Department was dispatched to 50 Gifford Avenue shortly after 6 in the morning for reports of smoke coming from the village's public works garage. Firefighters from Lakewood, Bustye, Kyantown, and the city of Jamestown responded to assist the village crews fight the flames. It appears no one was injured as a result of the fire. However, much of the equipment inside that garage was destroyed, including several dump trucks. Well, lawmakers are closing in on a bipartisan infrastructure deal. The Senate will reconvene today after voting last night to end debate on its plan. It's the final hurdle of passing the bill before it moves on to the House. Jeremy Roth has a look at what's next.
Compromise on Capitol Hill, progress on the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act.
Better roads and bridges, better ports and airports, a better future for our economy.
Among other things like technology, climate-related measures, manufacturing, research and development.
We are within days, possibly within hours, of seeing this historic legislation.
In an unusual weekend of Senate action, lawmakers took up the massive $1.2 trillion plan, and by Sunday night, they voted 68-29 to end debate on the package. Democrats needed at least 10 Republican votes. They got 18 from these states. Today, there will be 4 speeches on the deal, with the final Senate vote expected early Tuesday morning. Then the Senate will shift their attention to the $3.5 trillion budget resolution. It's the second part of this 2-track budget reconciliation package to advance the White House's sweeping economic agenda. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House won't take up the bill until that part is done.
To build not only the physical infrastructure, but the personal infrastructure.
A recent poll from Quinnipiac University shows 65% of people support an infrastructure bill. But even with support from Americans, the bill faces an uncertain future in the House, which won't be back in session until September. I'm Jeremy Roth, reporting.
Jeremy, thank you. After being canceled last year due to the pandemic, the annual Westfield Antique Show, sponsored by the Chautauqua County Historical Society, is returning to the village this summer. The Westfield Antique Show has its origin dating back to 1938 when Doc and Edna Shelkey organized the first event in the town. The two were well-known local antique dealers during that era, and the event was so attended they decided to hold it every year. Well, since then, the show has become an annual tradition in Westfield, and now, for the past several decades, has been organized by the County Historical Society. The event will feature over 20 different dealers in antiques, selling furniture, dining sets, glassware, silver, jewelry, and much, much more. This year's show will be held Saturday, August 14th from 9 to 5, and Sunday, the 15th from 9 to 3 at Edson Hall. Certainly, if you can, get out and check it out. Looks pretty cool. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of some local headlines this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here on the show. It's great to see Perry, good to see John, Linda, Pam, and Sarah. Hopefully you all are having a great day and trying to stay cool out there because the heat and humidity is definitely on, as Dakota's been talking about. Let's hear from him now with a full look at our weather forecast. And I know you could be busy too the next couple of days because I hear there's a little bit of a severe storm threat coming along with this, Dakota, as the heat and humidity really flares things up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very low-end threat, though, but there could be a few stronger storms later in the week. Let's go in there and take a look at it. First of all, let's take a look at the temperatures from this morning, and these were the low temperatures, or where we started the day. 65 here in town, 64 in Clymer, 72 in Fredonia, 71 in Dunkirk, 61 in Randolph. So it was a muggy start to the day, and yeah, it's going to continue to be muggy through the next couple of days. The muggy meter shows you it. Yeah, for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to be hanging out in that oppressive category for humidity. That's tropical air. That's the air you can wear. I mean, you know, it's summertime air. That's what we've got going on over the next few days. By the time we go into Friday, a cold front's going to be coming our way on Friday. That will ultimately knock the temperatures and the humidity down, but it's going to come later in the day on Friday. So much of the day on Friday is still going to be warm and humid. So here's the reason why it's so warm and humid. We talked about this last week. The jet stream is being shoved to the north, and this is creating a big high bubble coming in. Well, it's a heat bubble is what's happening. We're seeing that warm, moist southern air surging into the northeast. So it's the the 3 H's, hazy, hot, and humid. We're also getting some wildfire smoke coming on in from the western wildfires. It's way up in the atmosphere to cause any health issues, but there will be a hazy sky through the next few days as we're seeing that wildfire smoke. And Justin just mentioned it. This is tomorrow afternoon. There is a low-end marginal risk, a level 1 out of scale of 1 to 5, for all of northwestern Pennsylvania and the southern tier for at least a couple stronger storms tomorrow afternoon. And the SPC maintains that risk for Wednesday as well. You see all the green shaded area here. That's that low-end marginal risk. And the main threats with these storms Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be strong damaging winds. Hey, something that's coming up in the next few days is the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. And we talk about this every year. The comet of origin is the Swift-Tuttle comet, and you could see up to 40 to 60 meteors per hour, and the terminal velocity of the meteors is going to be about 37 miles per second. So that peaks through the 11th through the 13th. So get out in a dark space. We're going to see some partial clearing over the next few days. We could see at least some of that comet shower over the next few days. So get out and take a look at that if you can. So the satellite and radar composite, 2 areas of high pressure. This is the next system that comes our way. High pressure scooting on out. So this is going to be coming our way over the next couple of days, and the humidity is going to help fuel it. So here's the newest Runner Future Scan. Shows you really nothing through the day. It does spark up a couple isolated showers, mainly across Erie County, Pennsylvania. I wouldn't rule that out. So if you're traveling to Erie today, you may run into a little isolated shower through the afternoon. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Tomorrow starts mainly dry, baking sunshine, and then notice showers and thunderstorms pop up through the day, and we'll see those, continuing through the day. And there's going to be a chance some of them again could be strong with gusty winds and definitely some heavy rainfall. And we'll see another chance of those going into Wednesday. Basically, just a rinse and repeat. So the inland areas today, temperatures mid to upper 80s, some 90s could be possible, mainly in Warren County, well off to the east, away from that lake breeze. Hot is the password. You need those air conditioners. Next 7 days of your life coming up right now. 84 tomorrow, a heavy thunderstorm possible in the afternoon. Oppressive air continues Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We back the temperatures and the humidity down going into the weekend as that cold front passes, and it will be much drier as well. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Well, it's only August, but you may have noticed a lot of leaves are already starting to fall from trees. Maple trees in particular are falling victim to a type of fungus made worse by wet weather. Elspeth Meisner with our news partner Erie News Now has the answers to why some trees are behaving as if it's fall.
You wouldn't expect to hear the crunch of leaves on a walk in August, but leaves are already falling. The question is why. Experts say it's happening due to the weather.
With the excessive amount of rain that we had this spring, when the rain hits those leaves, it causes the spores to spread throughout the crown of the tree. And that's why we're seeing that early leaf drop this year.
This is commonly known as anthracnose, which affects the red and silver maple trees.
And the tar spot is what's causing all the early leaf drop that we're seeing, specifically on the Norway maple trees.
Foresters from the DCNR agree the weather is to blame.
I think the extremes are what is contributing to some of the premature leaf fall. We had an early spring. We didn't have any late frosts.
But we aren't the only ones losing leaves. Experts say the problem isn't just in Erie, but all of our surrounding counties as well throughout northwest Pennsylvania, whether it's Venango County, Crawford County, Warren County. Arborists say there's nothing that can be done this year, but you shouldn't worry about next year quite yet.
The important thing for people to know is that this disease does not kill your tree. You do not have to panic and go cut your trees down. The tree might even re-leaf out this year, or it'll re-leaf out next year.
Elspeth Meisner, Erie News Now.
Elspeth, thank you. Interesting report, and I have noticed that there are leaves that are falling, and you'd think with the warm weather they wouldn't expect it to be fall, but I guess the wet conditions really can change that, and I know it's been wet, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talked about it at the beginning of the month. July, at least in Jamestown, was the rainiest July ever in the city of Jamestown, dating all the way back to 1895. That's when records started being kept here. Our rainfall total for the month was 11.44 inches, which is incredible amounts of rain. And, you know, the rain did help keep our temperatures down through the month of July.
Right.
So, you know, it felt warmer with the humidity, but, you know, when you get so much rain in the cooler air, it does play a little tricky boo on the, you know, on the trees. Yeah. So, you know, I liked what he said. Don't panic. Don't cut your trees down.
Right. No. They'll come back. They'll come back. They just think it's, you know, September or October.
They're just being fooled.
Right. Absolutely.
As we are.
We all get fooled sometimes. And, you know, it's all right. It's what it is. Let us know what you guys think about that more in the comments down below. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Although with this week, though, it's definitely, I'm sure the trees will get a wake-up call. Summer's back in full force.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're looking for a new weatherman. Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. Mainly clear to partly cloudy, warm with near oppressive humidity. The low temperature, 67 in the deepest valleys, 74 at the Lake Erie shoreline. AC's on tonight, folks.
Yeah, definitely important to do. Good to see Melissa, Sarah, Andy. Great to see Travis, Lori, and Jody as well. Hopefully you all are having a great day. Happy Monday to Wendy. We appreciate you tuning in every day to get a check of your local news and weather. And one thing that I think is really important to note while we are coming off of the news here, and we got a couple of minutes to chat, Dakota, I think. I really want to give a big shout out to the group of interns that we had this summer here at WNY News Now. Christian Reith-Miller, Jason Rutman, Mario Cosentino, and Julia Gress, as you saw today on the show. We really appreciate their hard work, and for some of them, and I know I can just say this briefly, for Julia, who's going to actually be coming and doing some work with us going forward, so you'll continue to see her face. But I think it's so important to give back to the next generation of news reporters, and I just really want to thank everybody involved in the process with the schools and with those young inquiring minds who have reached out to join us and learn firsthand skills. I think it's so important. And as you know, here at WNY News Now, Dakota, one of the big things we really push for is fairness and accuracy in local journalism. And I'm so impressed with the 4 young people we've had And I look forward to see where their careers can go. One day they'll probably be my boss, and that's always
they could buy the company and
be my news director.
Right. But seriously, I mean, all the interns we've had this year, and quite frankly, I think every intern we have ever had since we started the intern program a couple of years ago. I think every intern we've had has just been very special because they've all brought something new to the table.
Right.
And, there are times where the interns have even taught us things. So it's like, the old geezers here who, have been here since the Civil War, are learning some new tricks from the young guns. And it's really amazing to see what they've done. And I can't wait to see where the interns are in 10 or 20 years from
now.
And
I'm so happy that Julia's going to be sticking around. Maybe she'll anchor one day. You never know.
We'll have her do weather.
Exactly.
Want to do the weather?
She said no.